the place to be. Join myself, Nicholas Hodel, and Dominic Stern every Sunday night at 7 o'clock for in-depth discussions in the world of college basketball. We got the best powers and your favorite mid-major programs all covered every single week. So make your party plan to the College Basketball Bonanza every Sunday night at 7 o'clock on Blaze Radio and BlazeRadioOnline.com. Don't miss out on the weekend's final party.
Good evening, happy Monday, and welcome into Open Mic, everybody. My name is Zach Bradshaw alongside
Alexandra Zerborg, your co-host today.
Welcome into the Bill Austin Radio Studio, and we have a special surprise for Open Mic today. No artist spotlight, none of the normal...
no hashtag viral,
hashtag
nothing.
viral, no off the charts. We're doing an actual interview today. First time on Open Mic, making Open Mic history. We're sitting down today with German journalist... pronounce your name again?
Hey, it's called Friedrich Steffes-Lay.
Friedrich Steffes-Lay.
Oh,
Very excited to be sitting down with you today. How's your so you're from Germany, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And how long have you been here in Phoenix?
I arrived like a week ago, so I'm staying for 2 weeks, and now it's my last week, so a few days.
Great.
How's your stay been so far?
Great. It's like completely different to Germany or New York, where I've been before. So it's a lot to see, a lot of crazy people wandering around, and I really like being here.
Emphasis on the crazy people running around. I do agree.
Oh, yeah. So let me get this right. You're here in America on a fellowship, correct?
Yes, that's true.
Nice. So what can you like exactly describe the fellowship that you're here for?
So the program is 3 weeks long, and it's about getting to know like the US and the Midwest especially. I know it's not like Midwest here, but they send us to different universities all over the US, and I've landed in Arizona, and it's about getting to know like local issues, like political debates, stuff like that. And I want to learn about how journalism works in the US and how you get educated here. So nice to see what's happening at the campus radio.
It's great. So you're in the field of like political journalism, correct?
Yeah, I try to mix like pop culture and politics when I'm working at my like newspaper in Germany. So politics is a big part of it.
Awesome. And so yeah, are you a journalist over in Germany then?
Yes.
Okay. So do you work for a publication, broadcast radio?
Yeah, I work for Welt, which is one of probably Germany's biggest newspapers. So they have a print version, they have an online version, and a TV station as well. So there's a lot going on, and usually I'm working in the social media team, but also try to write as much as I can. So I'm doing kind of everything in a while. Yeah.
So you said that you work for like one of the biggest like publications / newspapers in Germany. Would you say, in comparison to the U.S., that print is still alive in Germany compared to here, or do you think everything's kind of also shifting online?
It is. I mean, you guys are like always 5 years ahead of Germany, so everything that happens here will probably arrive later in Germany. But we still have a lot of people who like to read print and have newspaper subscriptions, stuff like that. But every publishing house is eager to transform itself and get like digital subscriptions. So yeah, it's basically the same in the US, but we are a little bit later.
Right, that's so interesting. So how long have you been kind of in the field of journalism?
So I always like to write and read, and started writing little articles about pop culture and music when I did my studies. And after that I got in a journalism school, which was 2019. So that was where I really started working in journalism and like wrote articles for print magazines, stuff like that. And now I'm working full time. I got my contract a year ago, so I'm pretty new to everything. But well, when it comes to smaller articles, it's been a while. Yeah.
That is so interesting. So you said you went to college in Germany, correct?
Yeah.
What college was that?
It was a university in a smaller town, which was not a town where you would like go on vacation or stuff like that. It was the studies that brought me there, because my studies were called Popular Music and Media, so that was like unique in Germany, and I wanted to focus on that, so that was how I landed there. And yeah, basically it's similar to the US. I've been there for like 3 years and had a lot of courses about how to produce a podcast or how to write a report, stuff like that. I made an internship for half a year in Munich, and after that I went to Berlin to work as a journalist.
Oh, God. Would you say it's like weird to make the switch from like college publications sort of to an actual job? I mean, like how well do they translate?
Yeah, there is a difference. Like when you write for smaller online blogs, they will basically let you publish whatever you want. Often they won't even correct your text. And when it comes to working at bigger houses, at bigger newspapers, you have to like, there are more people reading your text, and like it's harder to get your text published.
Weird.
But besides that, was it like, did they prepare you enough at university for kind of like the real world of journalism, or did you think you were a little underprepared in some aspects?
I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me how it works in the US, but in Germany, like being at a university and being in a job is like two different worlds. Like university is more theoretically, and it's not like they prepare you for work or a job. It's more about getting to know like how to research, how to organize your life, and like doing work in the media industry is all about networking, practicing, working all the time, and contacts, and not about having good university grades.
Right. Yeah, I would say, like you said, Alex, I mean, it does like, that feels like it's sometimes when you go to school, you're like, would that ever happen in the real situation? Yeah. Especially in journalism, because it's one of those things where like, your job as a journalist is to be subjective and present like the facts and not so much your opinions. Whereas like in school, you're kind of, in a way, is taught the opposite. It's like you're gonna learn like this form of looking at science or like this form of looking at opinions, and it can be tough to kind of construe the both as you're going from college into a real life job. And so, I don't know, would you have like any advice for like prospective students, especially us, you know, looking to go one day into even like your shoes, like publications? I mean, what advice would you give for like prospective students that are looking to go into the field, and you know, what's like been your experience with that?
Yeah, I think you should always be active, like always reach out for people in the industry, ask them questions, not like just sitting at university waiting for your degree and afterwards waiting for your job. Instead, you should like, since day one, you should just go out, write articles. If you want to publish at a smaller or not that big news station, they will probably just let you write, and that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Solid. Yeah. I mean, that's good advice.
And it's yeah. And so I imagine, is it weird being over here in America? I mean,
are we weird? Are Americans weird?
I think you guys are pretty okay, but as I said, there is a huge difference, or there are a lot of differences to like Germany. So.
Yeah.
What are like some of those differences that like really stood out to you?
I feel like people are more open here. They would just approach you on the street and talk about their daily struggles in life, and you gotta decide if you want to listen to that or just go on and ignore it. People will make you compliments on the street, which is not like happening in Germany. I also feel like Americans are more, they have like this mindset where they would just get up and think they could now invent something that will change the world, and Germans are more aware about the fact that things could just not work out and won't even try things. So yeah, that's basically the most important difference.
That is a really interesting perspective. So that is, I'm sure you've heard of it, the American dream.
Yeah.
You're taught that you can wake up one day and just become a millionaire and just become famous.
No, you can't.
So now I'm curious.
You can't. You work a minimum wage job
it's all about the mindset, guys.
At a restaurant. You got to be realistic about these things.
And I guess it's like songs and movies that kind of teach kids like that, and like your teachers even, you know, they always teach you to like to be motivated, to always have the confidence to do whatever you want. But
well, I think
what's it like in Germany in that sense? I mean, what's the difference that, I mean, like what there is makes it so that like you're not, you know, you're more realistic in terms of like your life goals and your aspirations?
So I heard when you climb on a tree as a kid in America, your parents would just come to you and say, "Oh, you're doing so great," and that's not what's happening in Germany all the time. I think so. How you get socialized is a big part of how your personal development will be. And yeah, as I said, Germans are not that open-minded and will not share as many experiences as Americans would probably. So that comes a lot together. I don't know if there's like one point that has all of that, but yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's it's definitely it's one of those things where it's like, again, like you said, it just feels like some foreigners are like they're more realistic because like and because we obviously we seem crazy to them, but
Oh yeah, Americans are crazy. We are a crazy bunch of people.
Do you have crazy experiences
In
that you-
America or
yeah.
just so I'm from California, and so coming to Phoenix, like you said, was also probably like a big culture shock because at least the homeless people in California, they won't talk to you. I had a homeless woman steal my smoothie on the public
wow.
transportation here a little while back, and just the people, like the homeless people will just come up to you and talk to you, and like I'm not used to that. Like I'm used to the environment of like keep your head down, like if you don't talk to people, they won't talk to you. And I feel like I also have similar experiences of like people just won't give you compliments on like the street randomly unless like I don't know, like you're like really pretty or like really get done up or whatever.
Oh, so it's not an American thing, like in
I
general?
mean, well, not all over America. I would definitely say like New York, yes, it probably is as well, and here and like a couple other like major cities. I'm not from a major city in California. I'm from like a very small town, so it doesn't happen in my small town. But if I go into the city, yes, that kind of stuff will happen. I think people are just more crazy in the city.
yeah, it's a general census. I mean, the cities are just like the. I mean, there's a lot more poverty in America too, I would say, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we are taught to say to view like Germany as like this like perfect sort of like, oh, they're just like happy over there in Germany. They're like this happy community and like this happy village, and they're like living their life. Give us like the nitty gritty, like what's really going on in Germany, and like politically and both like economically.
Well, there are different areas in Germany, that's for sure. I feel like Germany is more stable in general. Like when you drop out of the job, it's not like you're completely averted after that. And I feel like if you're in America, you got more to lose, I guess. If you drop out of the system once, you probably have a hard time coming back. And yeah, that's not the case in Germany. And we have like health insurance, we have stable social systems, and don't feel like that is some kind of socialism as it often is portrayed in the US. Yeah, and we are not as polarized as the US.
Yeah, polarization is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as a journalist, how do you go about covering? I guess you're kind of more on the pop culture side, but do you ever cover like politics, economy, business, anything like that?
Yeah, so as I told you, I started working for music magazines, and I try to combine that with politics right now. So I wrote a lot about TikTok activism, or I reported on a right-wing rapper who tried to transport his political beliefs through his music, and wrote about the Obamas producing Netflix shows and having their own political agenda behind that. So these are topics that I covered in the past. But I fancy to shift more towards like hard politics in the future. But when it comes to that, you need contacts, you need networks. And so I'm still relatively young, so I've got a little time left. So right now I'm like in the middle of a process.
Yeah, yeah. And how exactly? I don't know if it's too much information, but how old are you?
26.
Oh, 26. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're entering the field of journalism.
We are too. Like we're very young. Like you're 19, right, Zach?
Yeah, we're 18. So.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, we're both 18.
Yeah, so
We're
it's-
very
wow.
young.
We're getting there, but I don't know, and it can be a daunting task. Like growing up, going through the college system, getting a job, getting an internship first of all.
Well, my question is, so at least in the U.S., people, especially politicians, believe that journalism is kind of like toxic and that like it's very biased nowadays. Do you have that problem in Germany, do you believe? Or because I know that in different countries, journalism can be seen as a very taboo thing.
Yeah, so before I came to the US, I knew about the polarized media system here. But when we've been to New York and in the program, we visited a few newsrooms of WNBC or Vice Media, and I was shocked how polarized everything is and how people are fine with being in an echo chamber all the time.
Yeah.
And in Germany, we also have like biased media, but not in a way that they make politics. It's more like you got more right-wing newspapers, you got more left-wing newspapers. We got a public broadcasting system, which is pretty neutral. And I wonder that there isn't a market for like neutral news in the US. I don't know why is there no market?
It is
a
so
good
interesting.
question.
So and when it comes down to it, the only thing that we have is AP News, the Associated Press. I'm sure you've definitely heard of it, but it's just it's what it is what it is, and you're learning, or at least as we are right now, that is if news organizations don't have an alignment, they're not going to be funded. They're not going to get the
Well, yeah, I was gonna
viewership
say,
and the content and the readers that they want.
here's my perspective on it is basically people will pay for what they want to hear. People want to hear certain things, so therefore there is more of a market for like more left-winging, like side leaning whatever, or right side leaning. Like there's like people want that. People don't want like straight news, straight like bias.
Yeah.
Like some people do just want no bias and just straight news. However, like I feel like when it comes to more political stuff like that, it's not really like people don't go for it right away.
And people want a way to like interpret the news that they're reading, But in the news, like there's every news organization apart from AP is going to have a little bit of bias, which in a way is terrifying to think about. Is it that way in Germany? I mean, I don't know. Are there like enough journalism like organizations that they're all just like like unbiased, or does everyone sort of have a different political mindset?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be like not biased on any topic, but people want to be neutral, or journalists want to be neutral most of the time. There are like opinion pieces which are obviously biased, but as I said, it's not nearly as polarized in the US. And I don't know, how do you consume news? Like, do you listen to Fox and NBC as well, or like do you mix it and want to find an opinion in the middle afterwards? Or
So
what is it all
basically,
about?
like for journalism school at least, Cronkite here is doing a great job of keeping everything neutral. Like I have some professors who are left leaning, and I have some who are right leaning, and I have some who are completely neutral. It is really good that they're teaching like a new generation of journalists to be neutral. We in our JMC 110 class, which is basically like intro to journalism and like principles and histories of it, they give us this map and it shows all of like the possible places where you can get your news from, and it shows which one's more like left leaning, which one's more right leaning, and just to kind of be aware. And it gives you like it circles out like a Venn diagram kind of, and it's like these are the news sources that you want to like kind of get your like information from. So that includes like ABC News, NBC, and AP News. Like those are probably like the biggest ones that are like super like not biased. And then you got like CNN, which is a little more left like leaning, and then you got Fox obviously, which is more right. So they kind of like show us and like teach us like these are where you can get like your non-biased news, and I think that's like really like important, and I feel like that should be shared amongst everyone.
Yeah, and that's at the college level. At the civilian level, I know my aunt specifically, she tries to read like ABC, CBS, NBC, basically getting your news from a variety of different sources, because I mean it is a larger country and there's a lot of schools and stuff, so there are a lot of outlets for news to be accessed. But again, the ones that get really popular, they get really, really popular, and then they just have so much power over people. And so that's why you see like companies like Fox, they can just say anything. Basically, half the country feels like it's just going to believe it.
Well, also social media is like such a big impact now in the US too, where anyone can say anything on Twitter, and then that can just lead to like greater things. And just like that's like it sucks because not a lot of people in the US are like literate in media, so they don't know what is true and what is not.
And that's a really good tangent. So since you because you work in social media, and you've kind of seen like what the power of social media. I mean, I want to hear like firsthand what exactly it is about social media that people just latch onto. Like, what about it is able to have these like able to make these big political concepts become so popular?
Yeah,
it's a tougher one.
Yeah, there's a few things about that. First, I think people build their own echo chamber on social media and maybe they are not even aware of it all the time. So they just keep liking stuff they like to read and watch, and it's getting more radical the longer they do it. And I feel like people are more, they feel like they are anonymous on the internet, but that's not the case. I mean, I see people with their full name and profile picture on Facebook and ranting about stuff and insulting people, stuff like that. And I don't think they would do that in real life. So they kind of radicalize on social media and feel like they can do more without consequences, because a lot of people are not aware that the internet is not like it's not like there is no law on the internet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it's so true. Again, like you said, people feel like they're anonymous. I mean, it's like, oh, I can post this. Nobody's gonna see it. Like whatever happens. And then again, like social media algorithms too. They just like they curate whatever they think that you like, and then they send you that sort of information.
And I think it's even more radical in the US because you got this freedom of speech idea, and we have it in Germany as well. But there can be consequences if you put anything on the internet. Because I don't know if you knew that, but Holocaust denial is illegal in Germany, and I don't think that would work in the US.
Oh wow. Okay. So is there like I want to say like air quotes here, like First Amendment law in Germany?
There is a law that guarantees freedom of speech and press freedom, but that's one thing that's like not allowed, and I think it's good that it's not allowed. And if you insult people on the internet, you are probably more like you can get sued for that, and I don't think you get sued for that in the US as often as it would happen in Germany.
Yeah, no. I mean, I could say something about Zach, and he would just probably fight me, but not sue me.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, from you, Alex, what like experiences you had with like internet censorship and like,
Well, obviously it comes to a point, like for my job, like in the past, I wasn't allowed to like obviously say something that would make me look bad, because this was like for a media internship and I was like getting eyes looked on. So I think it was just basically don't be dumb. That's all the media censorship that I've really faced. Like, don't say anything stupid, Like, there's a lot of people on the internet who say some, like, really out of place things. And it's just, like, it's not necessary in today's world. Like, why would you say something negative if it's not, like, helping to a cause,
Right.
So.
And it's something interesting to look at, too, because Germany is such a smaller country compared to the U.S., right? Like, in terms of, like, population. It just... I guess like in my kind of American bubble eyes, it feels like people there are just like happier in a way. Like there is no polarization.
I feel like everyone's just angry and depressed in the U.S. though. Like in Germany, is there like what is like the stereotypical American? Like when you think of Americans, what do you guys think of?
Oh, I gotta be careful what I say now. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of people in Germany who like America. I mean, we are political partners. People like going on vacation in the US. I would say there are some stereotypes which are not like, I mean, I would not say that it's true. I mean, there are these stereotypes that Americans eat a lot of fast food. Or,
yeah, I was going to say that we're like...
are not that interested about foreign politics or stuff like that. But I think a lot of Germans like the idea of America and going there and meeting people. So yeah. But coming back to polarization, we do have polarization in Germany. Not as much as in the US, but when it comes to climate change, vaccinations, or like migration, these are still topics that are highly debated in Germany as well.
Right.
Probably here as well. Like those are the big topics nowadays. Like whether your kid is vaccinated or not, whether you're vaccinated or not.
Yeah. Whether you've had COVID. Yeah. And so, yeah, back to kind of vaccinations too. What was the COVID-19 like outbreak like in Germany in terms of journalism and reporting it? Because here in the U.S. like there were like everything stopped basically, and then there were like 3 channels that would just like report stuff, but it was like all like remote. It was all like Zoom interviews and stuff like that. What was the scene in Germany?
Yeah, we had a Zoom phase as well. Like every one of us had to go back at home and work remote. Yeah, we had a kind of strict lockdown at the beginning, and we had several runs in like the upcoming winter after that. Right now, the rules, like the right now we don't have that many rules anymore. Like there's no mask mandatory anymore, and you don't have to show your vaccine pass to get into restaurants or bars or stuff like that. But we had like phases where it would be really strict, and I think in the end, when other countries had like freedom days and stuff like that, we would still sit at home and work remote and be more like aware about all of that.
Oh, wow, yeah. It's interesting. It was such a big, I mean, obviously it's a big like worldwide phenomenon.
Like
but
the world just stopped at that point, you know?
It was really weird. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll do something really fun here quick
We
at
got
the
like
end.
a minute and a half.
But do you want to give us anything, like any last tips of advice for journalists, anything along that spectrum of like journalism and reporting? I know you go back to Germany on Friday, you said, right?
That's right. Yeah, be passionate about what you're doing. It's a great job, and I love doing it. I can't imagine doing anything else right now. If you get a chance to work in that field and really want to, I think you're going to be good and find your place.
Yeah. And I have to ask you, who is your favorite like artist or band? And it could be like German or American.
Wow, that's tough. There's this German rapper I really like. His name is Haftbefehl. He's like I think he's a Turkish rapper, and he does like gangster rap. And at the beginning, people would laugh at him and make fun of him. But right now, he's like in the pop segments of big newspapers and everything. Everyone is wondering what he's doing and if he isn't like sophisticated. And yeah, people try to get behind his music, and it's an interesting development. I like that.
So I have a question. My dad actually texted me. He wanted me to ask whether you like Fanta cake or not. Do you know what Fanta cake is?
Are you on the phone on air?
Just no. He just texted me.
Sorry, you gotta repeat the question.
Do you like Fanta cake? I think
I have an idea what that is, but I think I never tried that.
Okay, all right.
What exactly is Fanta cake,
cake
Alex?
is, I don't know. I just looked it up right now. He said it was German. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right.
Interesting.
It's like Fanta.
You just unlocked a weird childhood memory. Yeah, I think it's common in some families.
Like, see, it's like on Google. Just looked it up right now.
Yeah, it looks kind of nasty, but I
Fanta
remember trying it at one point in my life.
It's basically a cake with a sponge base. The key ingredient is the sponge base is Fanta. Thus, the cake becomes fluffier.
Germans love their sponge cakes, but I don't remember really like what the taste was all about. But I remember eating it when I was a child.
Sounds interesting. I think we should make it one time, Zach, in the community kitchen.
Let's try it, and then we'll ship you some in Germany and see if you like our cooking.
It's probably not going to be that good by the time it gets there.
Well, as we are out of time, we will wrap up the interview. But thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, this is awesome.
This was Open Mic.
Happy International Carrot Day, by the way.
International Carrot. Happy International Carrot Day.
International Carrot Day.
International Carrot Day, right? If you'd like to connect with Friedrich on social media, he has an Instagram, different various social media handles online. You can look him up. And as for your favorite Monday Open Mic crew, I'm Zach Bradshaw.
And I'm Alexandra.
Have a wonderful night. And Friedrich, have a wonderful trip back to Germany.
Thank you. Bye.
Are you interested in sports talk radio? If so, the 4-3 Show on Blaze Radio is the show for you.
On the 4-3 Show, we discuss NFL football,
College football, NBA basketball,
and college basketball.
You can catch Ryan Blank, Patrick Fortuna, Parker Dunn, and Dominic Stern every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m.